But they were at the time, right? We get caught up. We're in a white neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? And we just got caught slipping. That's all. I get locked up in a cell, in like a holding cell, nothing serious, for a few hours. But I hated that feeling of sitting there wasting time, like letting time pass, and I'm just sitting there and thinking about what I did. And I'm like, I was brushing it off, but at the same time, I was like, this ain't fun. You know what I mean? This part of the game ain't fun. So I learned from that, right? And I was like 16 at the time. So I'm like, what's up? Welcome back. It's your boy D Money. Welcome to the check-in. How y'all doing out there today, man? What's the vibes looking like this week, yo? I actually couldn't wait to get here, man. I'm like, yo, this week has been probably the slowest week I had to deal with. And I was like, yo, I can't wait to sit down with these people and, you know what I'm saying, just give them all this energy, give them all that information that I'm holding on to. I'm like, yo, it's getting real now, because now I'm starting to do more homework. I'm like, okay, I'm coming across some valuable things, and I'm like, oh, they got to hear this. And I'm like, I'm always going to encourage you guys to go out and do the homework yourselves, right? Because you don't want to listen to anybody. You always want to attain the information, but also go do your own homework on it. You know what I mean? That's how I would prefer you guys to go about the information that I give you guys. But man, this week has been crazy, yo. Like, and you know what's the craziest thing? Like, one thing I've really learned about myself this week, just to get right into it, like, I realized that like I've been blocking blessings like damn near my whole life, and I don't know why. And I feel like some of you guys might be the same way, right? Like, I always end up like around the holidays, I have family and friends that'll like offer gifts and tell me, oh, what you want for Christmas? What you know what I'm saying? What you into this year? And I always tell them like, yo, don't worry about me. Focus on the kids. Don't like, I'm happy that you want to look out for me, but I'm cool. You know what I mean? And I always have that energy. Like people will try to give me things for free, and I'm like, oh, I'm good. I appreciate that. Nah, it's love. Thank you. I always do this. And I'm like, yo, no wonder why I sit around on Christmas and I'm like, yo, there's only one person that hooked me up with something. I'm doing it to myself. And I feel like you guys, some of you guys out there might be doing the same thing. And it's like, we have to start accepting these blessings instead of just, you know what I'm saying, brushing it off and letting it go that way. Like, nah, I think it's time. I'm going to accept all my blessings, yo. Real talk, yo. It's really starting to feel like that for me, because I'm like, I constantly have people that are trying to hook me up, and I'm constantly giving them the same energy. And I'm just like, after the fact, I'm thinking about like, why do I do that? And sometimes too, like when it comes to like projects that I want to work on, or anything in general that like I'm just building and putting together, like I have this thing in me where it's like, I just want to do it myself. I don't know if it's because I don't trust people. Like, I don't want to put a major responsibility in somebody else's hands, especially when it comes to like important things. And it's like with timing, I'm like, I know I'm going to be on time for something that I care about, something that I want to do, but other people are not going to treat it the same way. You know what I mean? So like, even when I used to go to like parties, and this is like a little off from what I'm just discussing now, but I'm like, even when I would go to parties with my friends and stuff, I'm like, I always wanted to drive. Why? Because I don't want to have to leave when you want to leave. Like, there's going to be a moment in time where I'm like, I might not be feeling it and I want to take off. So I want to bring my own car. I always have this attitude about me where it's like, I want to do everything myself. I want to carry everything out myself. I want to be in control. You know what I mean? But for the people out there that's like following my lead with that, for the people out there that's actually like following the same suit and having that same mindset, when it comes to building something and going into like, whether you're doing business or if it's just something for your personal, you know what I'm saying, gain, it's like you want to accept failure. Because when we have this mindset that we want to do things on our own and not accept anybody's blessings, it's like, yo, we're going to come across situations where we might fail. There'll be a good chance we fail. But we should be like accepting that feeling of failure, because I know I sound crazy. We should be accepting it because it's like we're going to pull lessons out of it. You already wired yourself to think like that. Remember, we're in this zone now where we go through things and we pull the lesson out, right? So if you're the person who's going to do it yourself, guess what? You're going to fail. At some point, you're going to fail. You're going to have to take that lesson out and you have to keep embracing it. So every time you reach another challenge and it's hitting you, you know what I'm saying, in a way where you didn't expect, you have to accept that part that you might fail. And what you really want to do is like be so comfortable with failing that like you want to keep failing. It sounds crazy. I know. You want to fail more. The more you fail, the more lessons you're pulling out. That way, like if it comes to a point where it's like you failed so much in one thing that you done picked up all the jewels in it. And now if you spin the block, you're going to get right through it with no problem. You know what I mean? That's how I look at it. And I think about it, and I think about like throughout my life, if I really was to like jot these things down, I'm like, yo, I've failed a lot in life. When it comes to certain things, I'm like, I failed. Like certain things failed on me. So like right now, I'm single. Why is that? Because my past relationships failed for whatever reasons, right? Maybe the first one, I wasn't showing her enough attention, right? I picked up on that, moved on to the next one. All right, now I'm showing her attention. But what's the problem on the next one? Maybe I didn't support her dream enough. Okay, that one failed too. So now, boom, boom, adding the two. Now I'm going to the next one. All right, I'm cleaning it up, but it's like I'm learning along the way. You know what I mean? And we're going to continue to do that. Relationships is a whole different thing. And if you're pretty much chasing, for the perfect person, it's going to be really tough. So I don't want to dive into the relationship talk today, but it's just like, these are one of them things, right? I'll give you another example. And this might be shocking to some of y'all because I don't really discuss it like that. But yeah, once upon a time, I was attempting to be a drug dealer. I failed miserably. All right. It did not work out. I'm trying to tell you, I'm like, at that time, I'm working at Whole Foods and I'm like, oh, I'm getting $10 an hour. And I'm like, at that time, it was really good. You know what I mean? Everybody else was paying much less than that. And I think about it, I'm like, my head was in the right space, but it wasn't. So the reason why I even came up with the idea to like sell some is because I'm like, I want some more income, some passive income. And really it's active passive income because I have to go still do the work. But yeah, so like adding that into the mix of the income that I'm bringing in, I started to realize like, okay, how could I maximize this whole, plan of mine? How can I maximize the amount of money that I want to bring in? It wasn't working out. It didn't matter what plan I had set up. The reason why it didn't work out was because I have friends and family who are like, yo, hook me up. Give me a discount. Yo, you could hook me up this week. I got you next week. Like things like that. It just, the math wasn't mathing, yo. I'm trying to tell you, the math wasn't mathing. So by the end of the day, I only lasted like, like a couple months maybe. And I was like, this don't make sense, especially with the risk involved, right? Like comparing the risk and reward, it didn't make sense. So I was like, that failed. But I learned from it, because now I'm just like, all right, we have to continue moving forward and we have to always compare the risk and reward, right? Is it worth it? Some things ain't going to work out for you like that. Another example. I got examples for days. This is just me showing you how many times something has failed in order for me to, proceed in life. So once upon a time, me and so-and-so, I'm not going to say their names, right? I was trying to be a bike collector, right? Some people would say you a bike thief. I would like to name it a bike collector, right? And if you was ever living in my neighborhood back in the day and you had a bike and it went missing, most likely it was in my garage. Okay, sorry, what you want me to do? At that time, I had a whole chop shop. Okay, I ain't gonna hold you. Like if I snatched your bike, if your bike went missing, you wouldn't be able to recognize your bike within 2 hours. I done took the wheels out. I done switched it. I done broke down the frame. I done sanded it down, spray painted it, switched the brakes. I did it all. All right. You would never see your bike ever again. But one day I end up getting caught up. Me and my friends, whoever they were at the time, right? We get caught up. We're in a white neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? And we just got caught slipping. That's all. I get locked up in a cell, in like a holding cell, nothing serious, for a few hours. But I hated that feeling of sitting there wasting time, like letting time pass. And I'm just sitting there and thinking about what I did. And I'm like, I was brushing it off. But at the same time, I was like, this ain't fun. You know what I mean? This part of the game ain't fun. So I learned from that. Right. And I was like 16 at the time. So I'm like, with that, I've never stole anything after that. I learned something from it and I was able to grow from it. You know what I mean? So like, these are just a few different examples, but I would say like the biggest example in my life that's really like taught me things that have to do with what I do now. Sometimes it's like living in California for 6 years. I've gotten into 5 accidents, which is crazy. One of them was really recent. The other 4 accidents that I got in, at that time, I had gotten into 4 situations in 5 months. So think about that. Imagine you're stepping out the house, right? You done got into 4 accidents month after month after month after month. you're walking into the next month like, yo, I don't even know if I want to do this today, man. I don't know which one of these days is it going to be, right? Like, so now you're driving with some paranoia. Like, you know, you're stressing about it because it's like, yo, this is crazy. Never in my life have I ever gotten into an accident, never mind 4 or 5 of them. Like, it's crazy. But I remember going through the first accident, the guy that hit my car, right? And they fixed my car every time. I try to tell you, I'm a good driver, but people like to hit my car. I don't know why. But the very first time they hit my car, they left the dent on it, obviously on the side. It was like my passenger, no, it was my driver's side in the rear. They smacked the car, left a nice dent on there. And the old man was trying to like, first of all, he was like, oh, I'm sorry, I got to go. I was like, you can't go nowhere. You know what I mean? Like, we got to stay here and get this figured out. He's like, oh, I have cancer. I'm like, I'm sorry, but what are you saying? You trying to like fly out of here? You making excuses and stuff. I don't want to hear it. But anyways, what happened was we didn't end up calling anybody there to, you know, write down a report. And I didn't know that because I think it was like my first accident at the time. You know what I mean? And so what happened is like he was apologizing. He definitely was admitting guilt to me, but I wasn't thinking to record it or anything like that. So once we go through the whole process, you know, he goes his way, I go my way. Our insurances contact each other. They contact us. And I'm telling them my story. And they're like, all right, well, from your story, it seems like he's at fault, but he's giving a complete different story. I was like, how is that? He was telling me that he admitted it. Anyways, long story short, they pretty much didn't do anything about it. And I was stuck with the dent in my car. So what did I do, though? For the next following accidents that I got into, unfortunately, guess what? They fixed my car every time because I knew what to do. From that point on, I learned from the failed attempt of me trying to figure things out and making sure that I was doing the right thing. I realized that I didn't know enough at the time, right? But going through that situation, I learned. I figured out exactly what I got to do next time. Then I got into 4 other accidents, you know, over time, and they've been fixing my car ever since. So you got to get the information, and you got to make sure that you apply it every time you fail in something, or every time something you have fails on you. You know what I'm saying? So with all them things in life that like had failed on me, I was able to learn and just like move on and move forward, you know, with that information that I was able to gain to kind of just put me in a different space. You know what I'm saying? Keep my life rolling in the right direction, staying positive. And I was telling my cousin the other day, I'm like, I'm proud of myself. You know what I mean? Like I'm actually, I don't even want to say I'm proud of myself. I'm happy for myself. I'm excited for myself because I'm in a different place, right? Mentally. And the only reason why I say I don't want to say I'm proud of myself is because like sometimes when you have so many people telling you like, oh, I'm proud of you, you know, if you start doing something, they're like, yeah, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. You're going to start to think like, hold up, did you have some doubt? Did you think I couldn't do it? Is like, I don't want to look at it in a negative way, but hey, sometimes it's like, I don't want to do that to people no more. So I'm not going to tell you guys that I'm proud of you if you get something done. I'm just going to tell you I'm excited for you. I'm excited for what you got going on. I'm excited for, you know, where you're headed with it. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's just a different way that I kind of want to look at things because, you know, all these people telling me, oh, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. I'm like, you guys making it seem like you didn't know I could do this. Like, come on, son. It's me. What are we talking about? But anyways, yeah, pull them lessons out and continue moving forward, right? For the people out there, right? I'm talking to you right there, the person that you really want to chase the bag. You're really thinking about like being a millionaire, right? I want to be a millionaire too, but I have to really be a billionaire. That's my ceiling, right? I just understand that being a millionaire is like the first stop for me, right? But if you're chasing the bag, right, and you have it in your mind, but you have moments in life where you slow down. You're not as confident, right? Let me tell you why. If you really want to be rich, if you really want to get to that point where you're a millionaire, let me help boost your confidence a little more, right? In the US today, there's 22 million millionaires. Globally, it's about 62.5 millionaires, right? Million millionaires. But that's what I'm saying. It's like if there's 22 million millionaires, why would you feel like you can't be part of that group? I'm going to be part of that group eventually. Like I have to get there and then I'm going to keep moving forward, right? You have to understand it's like there's too many people getting paid, too many people, you know, becoming super rich. And that number is so crazy. That's like, why can't I be one of them? Right. So here's the thing, though, right? So a lot of us might have the confidence that we can do what we normally do at its best. And we understand that it's like, all right, this is the goal. I'm really going to chase this. And I'm going, you know, just stay on top of it. but a lot of us lack the discipline. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things that come into play when you want to be successful, right? And it's like, if you're one of those people who you're sick and tired of your job that, you know, you're working 40 hours at and you're getting too tired, you're like, yo, this is too much. Listen, the average millionaire works 60 hours minimum. Like, that's the average, actually. That's the average. I'm not going to say it's the minimum. That's the average amount of hours that they work. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, how are you going to sit around and think that you're going to reach the top, but you lack the discipline? You're tired of your, 40 hours at this job. Now, maybe some of you guys are like, all right, I wouldn't work. I don't want to work 40 hours for his company, but I'll work 50, 60 for mine. That's a good like mindset to have. But, you have to still get in the gist of doing it, because if you're constantly working 40 hours at one job and you're just sticking to that, it's going to take you a little bit to adjust to a 60-hour day. You have to know what it feels like. So you should already, even though you're working on somebody else's, company, you should still be testing the waters. You should still see how you deal with it. Because if you can go through all the nonsense and the crazy stuff that go with somebody else's company when you put in that many hours, you should be able to handle your own just fine, because you should be in love with what you do, So it's all about like just working on yourself. You know what I mean? You want to build yourself to, this one great person with a great attitude, with great ambition. You know what I mean? Like, build on yourself first and then put yourself out there in the world while you're like trying to, accomplish and conquer, what you're trying to, get done. Like that's literally like the mindset I try to keep, every day. Cause like one thing I understand too, it's like, all right, I want to reach a billionaire, right? But the first stop is a millionaire. Like I said, like the first stop I have to get to is being a millionaire, and I'm not going to stop until I get there. One thing I understand is that the average self-made millionaire, he or she reads 30 minutes at least every day. So whether you're on your phone, whether you're picking up a book, you're going to the library, doing whatever, you should be having your head in something where you're gaining valuable information. Like, this is what they do. Like, you have to stimulate your mind. You have to continue gaining more information. You have to continue trying things out and failing at it just to spin the block and then succeed and then keep it going, carry it on to the next thing. You know what I mean? It's like, it's one big ball of energy that you have to build inside yourself and keep it going. And here's the thing, because I'm throwing a lot of different facts at you guys right now, right? But here's one thing, and this is not, I don't want to throw you off with this, and I don't want to, break you down a little bit, because there's some people that are not strong enough to hear certain things because it'll easily push them away from it. But you have to understand, even when you build on yourself, even when you get yourself to a point where like you're just doing your thing and you're super, confident, you're super motivated, you have to understand, if you are chasing that dream of being a millionaire, you have to understand that the average millionaire goes bankrupt 3.5 times. 3.5 times. They go broke 3.5 times before they actually succeed. So that's what's going to define you. Are you the type of person who's going to be able to withstand all the troubles coming your way? Understand that, okay, if I'm going to be an average millionaire, I'm going to have to go through the fire. I'm going to have to be down, to my knees, just like scraping for what I can. But if you stick with it, you're going to see the success, right? And this isn't going to apply to everybody, but for most, for the average millionaire, that's what happens. That's the deal. So the main thing about this whole thing is just being disciplined, right? Work on your discipline now. That way you can continue with the mindset that you really want to have. And like, as I'm like explaining this to you guys, I'm actually learning these things for myself too, right? And I don't want you guys to think that I'm just out here just trying to coach you guys. No, I'm coaching myself as well. I'm doing the homework. I'm trying to build on myself. I have high goals. I have like high standards when it comes to certain things. And I'm trying to become a complete different person in general. Like anybody out there that knows me, like, over the next couple years, I'm going to change drastically. I'm going to be doing things that you've never seen me do. I'm going to apply more pressure on myself. I'm going to tell a few people what I want to do. That way I have that pressure on me, right? I'm about building. This is what I want to do, right? One thing I would suggest too, right? And it's like, I think about this all the time. And I'm like, what do you want to do, or where do you want to be in the next month? Sometimes you have to really slow everything down, and you don't want to think about next year. Sometimes we think too far out when we're trying to plan things and it doesn't play out. There's too many things that come in between time that can throw us off. So whenever you guys are watching this, take it from today, right? what do you want to do, or where do you want to see yourself next month? You don't have to complete the whole mission of what you want, but like, what steps do you want to accomplish by that date next month, right? A month from today, I'm thinking I want to be a lot more focused, and I want to be ahead of schedule with all my episodes, right? So I want to have at least 10 episodes in the cut. You know, like early on, I was doing week to week. Like I was literally working on the episode the very same week I was dropping it. Now I'm like, okay, next month, we're going to have 10 episodes ahead of time. We're going to have everything already playing out. You know what I mean? Like I can sit back now and just chill. I'll have, all the episodes dropping when I need to, and I can work on the rest of the things that I want to work on. Right. So I would just say, plan out what you want to do, plan out where you want to be and what you want to accomplish by next month. Start like that. And listen, guys, too, like, definitely feel free to reach out to me. I've had like a few different people definitely hit me up. Every week there's at least like 1 or 2 people like contacting me, giving, they just want my thoughts on certain things, or they're just like showing crazy love. And, I'm super appreciative of it. So like, keep it going. I love the energy. I love the space some of you guys are in. You guys are helping me motivate myself and just to keep going with this whole thing. Every time I might get lazy and I'm like, damn, I got to go record another episode today. Even though I love doing this, I could get lazy sometimes. I'm normal. I'm a human being, right? But I feel like every time I think of like being a little lazy, somebody hits me up. Somebody's like, yo, that episode right there, I felt that one. Or they be like, yo, you're doing a great job. You know what I'm saying? Keep it going. Like, you guys always inspire me too. So I just want you guys to know that. And I want you guys to understand that it's like, whether I have 2 people here or 2,000, I'm going to keep doing this. You know what I mean? I'm not only doing it for you, I'm doing it for me, right? Because I want to continue to grow. I wanted to become somebody that you guys never thought I would be, right? This is where my head's at. I'm planning big. I'm planning bigger. I need you guys to plan big and bigger every day, right? So listen, I'm going to let you guys go on that note. I'm keeping it real short. I ain't got no questions today. Make sure you guys follow the Instagram, the check-in_. Make sure you follow my TikTok page. The information will be on the slides. Listen. It's been a good week. Let's make sure it continues to be a great week. All right. I'm out of here. Peace.